All right. Great afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. I believe we're live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome into Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Let us know that you can hear us loud and clearly. Happy Monday. Yes, we are joining you at 3 p.m. Y'all, isn't it fun just joining us at all of these different times? We're excited because you're moving with us and staying in the flow. And you know what flow is: fearlessly leveling up and overcoming and winning. That is what we're here to do at Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Again, happy Monday. I am Mone't S. Horton, visionary and host. And again, just blessed and super excited to be here for another day, a day that someone else didn't wake up and see. But we're all here for a purpose. And that is what we are going to intentionally lean in to at this time. You know, when we come into Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves, this is the time for you. No matter what time of day it is, it's a time for you to go ahead and intentionally go ahead and take this time to the side, get your pen, get your notepad. And as they used to say in school, take some copious notes because some gems, some nuggets are definitely going to drop. I am joined none other by my fabulous co-host, Tiara Parker. Say hi to the
Hey,
people.
hey, hey, everybody.
All right. Look, see, I never know if you're going to like take it to another level or like, so I just had to wait a couple of seconds, T. Yes, and yes. Can you all believe that we are already in the groove of October and just what about 2 more weeks? It's going to be over. And so I hope and pray that you are still moving forward with your goals, with the things that you said that you are committed to acting on in this last quarter of the year. I know you all are wondering who is this beautiful lady that's joined with them or sister to sister talk power moves today. And I am excited to have this wonderful trailblazer with us today. Let me go ahead and take a moment to introduce her and provide you with her wonderful bio because it's definitely a moment of alignment because well, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and introduce Miss Christen Johnson. And I hope I said your first name right, but I want to introduce just Jewel to you all today. She is the Style Savant and founder of SCB Luxury Styling with a passion for transforming women through faith and style. Christen has been transforming wardrobes and lives since 2014. With a wealth of experience in the fashion industry, including collaborations with renowned companies such as Nordstrom, Trunk Club, Amazon, and Rue La La, Christen has honed her expertise in curating personalized and impactful style experiences. Throughout her career, Christen has had the privilege of working with countless women, guiding them on a journey of self discovery and helping them embrace their unique body, shapes, and personal style. That's important. Her mission is to literally shift women's relationship with style so that they can radiate confidence, authenticity, and grace in every room they enter. As the driving force behind SCB Luxury Styling, she brings a deep understanding of fashion brands, impeccable attention to detail, and a natural talent for connecting with her clients on a personal level. Her keen eye for style, coupled with her genuine passion for celebrating individuality, allows her to curate wardrobes that truly speak to her clients, enabling them to command attention and make an everlasting impression wherever they go. Christian's approach to personal styling goes well beyond fashion. It's about creating and transformative experience that empowers her clients to embrace their true selves inside and out. We are super excited to have an honor to have Christen with us here at Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves today. Welcome, Christen.
Thanks, ladies. I didn't mean to send that long bio, but you read it so good. You read it
Right.
so good.
It was,
I'm like, all right,
you
it's
know,
about to end. And then you
right.
kept going.
Right. I was like, should I end right here? Then I said, no, it is very important for us to
Mhm.
really celebrate our journey and what we're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Because I believe that we get so, I know for me, busy in the doing, right? And that we forget, wow, this is really what I do. And not only what I do, but what I love to do.
yeah.
I'm changing lives. I'm making an impact. So yes, I read it all.
Well, thank you so much for that powerful introduction. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to answer all your questions and to just share my journey. Because it definitely hasn't been easy, but it's been so worth it. So I'm excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today, and let me just add again that you look fabulous. We can already see it that
Thank
it's
you.
coming. It's not just something that's in your bio, because that's a whole nother story, right? Sometimes individuals, they say this is what I do, but I believe that before we show up is very important. And so today, let's talk about faith and style and the grace to be you. And however we want to, we flow here at Sister to see behind the glory, the story behind what everyone sees today, and how it and so as we flow into this conversation, you want to share a little bit about your background. I know you said it wasn't easy, but share a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I mean, to start, I really just started everything honestly in 2013. I started a blog. I was a college student. I didn't have a ton of money, but I loved fashion. I loved sharing what I knew, sharing what I was doing. So I decided to start my own blog. And that was my platform where, like I said, I just showcased what I was doing, different style tips and all the things. And that led me into the styling industry. At the time, I didn't know that I could have a career in that industry. The styling and fashion industry is just so non-traditional. Of course, I went to school for business management, not realizing that a business was something that I could have in the industry that I wanted to pursue. So I had no idea that fashion was even something I was going to pursue as a career until college for me. So fast forward, I started to express my love for styling, and what I wanted to do. And my sister, we're 9 years apart. So she's like my second mom. She started talking to some people and I got my first retail job in 2013. I had no previous experience with retail, with fashion, anything. I just had the experience of dressing myself. And that was my experience. And that was really where I learned, like, okay, I think I want to do this. So I got that internship. I started working, got that internship, and that really was the snowball effect to everything else. That internship was not paid. It was with a local boutique here in Baltimore, that no longer exists. But that experience and that opportunity really just gave me the push that I needed to really start pursuing my career and my love for styling as a real thing. Most of the people that I knew in fashion, it really wasn't too many people, but it was always seen as something that was done on the side. So a lot of people just didn't really take it seriously. A lot of people just didn't think it was something that they could pursue full time. And for me, it made it challenging because really a door that I had to break through for me. Because I was shifting people's mindsets back then, and I'm still doing it now. So I say that to say I started the internship in 2014 that led to an opportunity working with Nordstrom the following year, which also led to me working with other companies like Trunk Club, Amazon, Rue La La. So all the jobs that I've had in the styling industry literally were opportunities. They were stepping stones and they were opportunities for me, but to also exercise that creative muscle that I have as a stylist. So I took everything that I've learned from those my business and created something that was personalized to me. And just going off of what I experienced, a lot of the frustrations that I had about the industry, I created a solution to that in my business. My first working at Trunk Club, and that's basically like styling models, doing a lot of avant-garde looking shoots that weren't necessarily real life. And I realized that that really wasn't for me. So I did that for 3 years. And when I got to Trump, this was more so personal side. I was going to DC, commuting to DC every day, or so I'm traveling an hour or two. But I absolutely loved it. And they're everyday people. At the time, I was working with men and then women. They had just started offering the styling service to women. And that's where it clicked for me. DC executives and even entrepreneurs. But this was 2016. So back then, like entrepreneurship, but it was still very new. So a lot of those individuals I was working with were more so professionals and executives. And that's where I realized, like, okay, I love this. Like, I'll do this in my business all day, every day. So although that job let me go 8 months later, it pushed me into another position at another job, but I was still like working my business and growing my business. And but yeah, I mean, those jobs definitely gave me the backing that I needed. And then my faith, of course, kept me going because I could have gave up a long time ago. I've been let go of a job 3 different times. And two of them were unexpected. One of them was by choice. So it's definitely been a journey to get to this point.
Yes. And so thank you for just laying it all down for us because you literally have taken us through your journey. It was so much that was packed inside that I heard as you were sharing your journey is that in the beginning you didn't even know, right? This was in while in college. And you took one of your first internships. Did you say it was
It was
non-paid?
non-paid, yes.
Yeah, that's a huge deal because and I want to take a moment into the playback. But there's individuals out there who may be cool, whether they're young, right? Just starting on this journey and trying like, okay, taking non-paid, I have bills, I have these things that's going on and trying to figure out why am I here? What is going on? I'm going to college. And that's a sacrifice, right? And everyone's sacrifice looks
Mhm.
different. I remember when you said that started my journey and I took it wasn't non-paid, but it was probably below what minimum wage, sacrifice for what I saw, something it was on the other side, right? And so that's a important that for those who are listening today that whatever the sacrifice, but it will require a
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah. And just to add, I will say I've sacrificed so much and I still am just to get where I am now. Oh, I started my journey in 2013. I'm telling my age a little bit. I'm still kind of young. I'm 30. But I feel like people just don't say I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed to get in the space that I wanted to be in. And I made those sacrifices. And I think it's important to say, like a lot of the sacrifices that we take, we have to remind ourselves. And that was something I just had to keep reminding. Even traveling to DC every day, for over an hour commute was a second that opportunity I felt was right on time for me.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, but it made it all worth it in the end.
Yeah,
So
that's
definitely want
awesome.
to
And
add that.
it'll make more sense as you continue
Right.
to step up as okay. So this may look a little
Hmm.
different. So let me keep going.
Yeah.
Question. Impact or did it impact your faith muscle? Did you have faith in the beginning? Journey impacted
Yeah.
that process for
So
you.
my faith has definitely grown over the years but I wasn't really paying attention. I was one of the kids who would sleep at
Right.
church, falling asleep or asking to like leave the service because I was bored. Relationship in college. I wasn't like reading my Bible every day or anything like that. But just the fact that I was going, I got my friends to go, my friends invited me to go. That was really the first step. And then entrepreneurship has honestly really have grown my faith when I realized that I couldn't do it, I was only but so strong. I knew that
Hmm.
I had to call on somebody else. So my faith has definitely grown a lot. I would say more so after college, after of what it is that I do now. I mentioned that I was let by journey, and that also too helped me to grow my faith. The first big girl job, I was crying. Like I didn't know what I was going to do. My student loans had just kicked in. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew God was real at the time because I literally like who would have done that? Like nobody else could have done it. It had to have been God. And thankfully at the time I was talking to a guy who is now my boyfriend 7 years later, soon to be fiance. We'll see. I'm sure it'll happen soon. He actually found me that position on Craigslist. And this is the job that I got post Trunk Club. So I was so distracted because my season was over at that particular job. So I need, and it's like sometimes we feel like, okay, I belong here. I thought I was gonna have that job or be at that job for forever. 8 months was my forever. Like I said, I knew God was real when He provided me with another job, maybe a week or two later. And kind of in the same field that I was in, but just a different position. So yeah, it's been many situations that happen like that.
Yeah, that's so good. And the number 8 is the number of new beginnings, right? 7,
Right.
completion. This is, look, you got me over here jotting down notes. I love you referring girl, right? Big girl job.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so on this journey discovery,
Mm.
in your bio, you have that you help to help your clients on this path out what their style is, but also let's take you outside of your comfort zone, right? I'm kind of reading into that. And so grow and discover yourself, and it's so you're mirroring kind of this experience for them as well, your clients. I guess let's talk about this fashion and how do you maybe take your own experience with fashion or just life and intertwine the
Yeah,
two.
that's a good question. So I try my best to be myself, to be honest and transparent. Um, I feel like when it comes to fashion and like your body, what I talk about, like your body and just looking good and feeling good, I feel like it can be an uncomfortable situation for a lot of women, talking about your size, talking about your body, what you love about your body, what you don't love about your body. And my experience really starts with a conversation as far as like, what have you been through? Like, what have you experienced? What have you experienced that left a negative mark on you versus what have you experienced and gone through that has left a positive mark on you? I feel like it's a lot easier sometimes for us to focus on the negative. I know I do it. I'm speaking for myself. But then, it's important to acknowledge the positive too, because sometimes we forget about it because we're so focused on negative stuff. So, talking about what they've experienced when it comes to their clothes and their body. Most of the women that I work with are in their 40s and 50s, and they're older than me, which people are like, wow. I'm like, yeah, like I don't really work with female because I know we need help too. But I love working with women who are a little bit more seasoned because we've been through stuff. Like they've been through things, they've had kids. I haven't had kids yet, although I have friends that do have children. But a lot of my clients have had children, they've gone through divorce, they've been remarried, maybe they're not married. And sometimes we're so quick to move to the next thing that we don't acknowledge like what we've experienced and forget. So that's where I start at. Like, what was something that has made you want to start making these types of choices when it comes to your style? One example, this lady she told me that she did not like showing her arms. And I'm like, okay, why? And she's like, oh, well, when I was a black girl's arms. It was the funniest story I've ever heard in my life. But to her, it's like, okay, I don't want to show my arms because I don't want anybody to touch her showing my arms. And it's like, that sounds crazy. But those are the types of things that women go through. And it's like, wow. So you don't want to show your arms because of something that happened to you when you were in. It's so interesting. And I have a ton of stories that happen to women, and you don't really think about it as an issue until it's like, oh, okay, here's this sleeveless top. Oh, I don't like showing my arms. And it's a conversation and unlocks and really addresses a lot of things that weren't
Wow.
addressed before. So don't
Right.
put that on me, y'all.
I love that you talk about and enhance
Yeah.
body positivity and just start getting when they come to you. Because I think when people think of a stylist, they think of, oh, I need somebody to help me pick out the right outfits for, just so that I can have, a nice wardrobe, but help me build my wardrobe or help me even figure out my personal style. But even just talking about body positivity, because I think it's just so critical what you just said. Women go through a lot of body, like
Yeah.
school age, like
Mhm.
she said, or whether it's adulthood, whether it's things that we even put on ourselves that no one ever said to us, but it's something that we say to ourselves.
Mhm.
So now we've believed the inner conversation, the inner voice in our own head. I think that's just so crucial. And I think that's so amazing that is what a client experiences when they book with you, because I think that's so critical to helping break down the barriers to actually helping build a client's body positivity and just seeing themselves differently wearing a sleeveless shirt now. Like that was, X amount of years ago. Maybe I'm holding
Mhm.
on to something that I can or need to
Yeah,
let go
that's a
of.
real thing. It's a lot of limiting beliefs that women have picked up throughout their journey. That I call myself a style savant because when you hear personal stylist, which is what I called myself throughout most of my career, people assume that I was just, putting outfits together,
Yeah.
just going shopping, which is a part of what I do, but it's not and market and explain that sometimes because it's such a deep thing. And a lot of women don't even realize that another challenge that has been a part of my journey. I just changed my title towards the end of last year or the top of this year. So it's something it without even realize I was doing it. So
Yeah, that
Awesome.
That's so good, and I'm glad that you went into that. What is a style savant? It's savant, right? So what what is this? I'm used to
Mhm.
stylists and things of that nature, and you shared, and every time you to I'm breaking through another barrier, but this is a so with that, tell us a lot more, a little bit more about the depth of what you do. So yes, it's well beyond just styling, just like on the borderline of like the therapy side too, because you're unlocking these and you hit it, T peeling back those leaves situation, whether it's wearing baggy clothes, want to wear something more form fitting, whether it's, hey, you've been wearing all black and we add some colors in there, earrings, different things. And so, yeah, take us a little bit deeper
Yeah,
into your
so I can
services.
definitely explain the process. Command Your Authority is my signature offer. So we start with a style breakthrough session. So that is a 45-minute call, kind of like a discovery call, but it's an opportunity for me to really understand where the client is, why they feel like they need a stylist, and also gives me the opportunity to explain to them what it is that I do. Initially I was doing like fifth phone. So, it was great because I was able to like talk to them a little bit and really explain to them what I do. But now with the style breakthrough sessions, they have it over Zoom. So I'm able to see their face, they're able to see mine. Body language is a big thing. So I'm able to like understand how they kind of feel about certain things going off of their facial expressions and how they move when I bring up certain topics, experience, because it's the first step. It's the most important step and it's mandatory for everybody because not everybody is, the right fit for this experience and not everybody is looking for that. But I will say some women come in not expecting or not really knowing, what to expect. And once we have that conversation, it's like, oh, I didn't know all of this was included. I'm like, yeah, like it's a whole thing. And I always is because this is what that is, an experience relationship with style. But also too, it's not just me doing all the work. The client has some work to do too. So and become a client, that's when the 8 weeks starts. So we always start with some pre-work. I send the client some pre-work, which are some journaling prompts, because I'm really big on journaling, some journaling prompts, some different exercises they can do on their own time by themselves in front of the mirror. Tell me what you think about your body. Tell me what you love. Tell me what you hate is virtual leading up to the in-person experience. But we have these virtual calls, which is the consultation is one, and then the style shift sessions are the other virtual experiences. So throughout the 8 weeks, we talk through your body shape. I show them how to take their measurements. And that is just an ebook where I have recreated the body shapes. So the body shape, I didn't like them, and neither did the women who I was talking to about them. So I changed them to just be more positive and more enticing. And I had the ebook that walks all the clients through those body shapes, how to take their measurements and all the things. And then once we meet for the consultation, there are about three more sessions. And those sessions are virtual. So we talk through their mood board, we talk through their style, we talk through all the things. And then I go shopping for them and curate a capsule wardrobe. Once that's complete, DMV area, it's an easy way for us to meet in person. I'll come to your home. It's like a concert for you. Try everything, why I chose these pieces and all the things. But aside from that, once we meet in person, you receive the lookbook and it's pretty flies by. It sounds like a really long time, but it really flies by when you're like getting to know someone and shopping for them and doing all the things. Hopefully that wasn't too much.
That's exciting. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I really love making us, through this process, and people get to lean in and understand that it's not just about you shopping and getting a bank I want, but really digging deeper into that prompts and again educating individual. I believe you're educating
Yeah.
them as well, right? On this, is there like a set rate, or is it different for the 8 weeks, or is it different brackets depending on someone's budget? How do you work with that?
Yeah, so there is a set rate for the amount of 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
And as far as the client's budget with shopping, that is completely separate. So that's also
Oh,
because again, a lot of people come into this experience thinking that they about what stylists do. So it's like, no, sis, like we going deeper, we're digging deeper, and this is an investment into about the clothes. It's way deeper than that. Because if that was the case, you could have just gone show my clients a different perspective on
listen.
what style can look like for them. And it takes a lot of time to build that relationship. So to answer your question, there is a set rate for that experience, but it is separate from their shopping budget. So depending on 2K for an entire wardrobe, and sometimes that's not even enough because
Yeah.
you got to think about clothes, you got to think about accessories, shoes, And it's just more than one outfit. Like I thought people knew what this was,
Yes.
but they don't, and that's fine. So that means I
Break it
got more
down.
work to do.
Right.
A mix of a different pieces that you can interchange. So versatile pieces that you can really just pair a bunch of outfits together with. So you can have a capsule wardrobe of 10 pieces, 20 pieces will be mixed and matched with one another. So that's the end goal for all of my clients. And the mood board, which is also what I mentioned too, me and the client are on the same page. So the mood board gives them all their body measurements, their body shape. No, from my experience, like sometimes a lot of things, we love a lot of things, colors attract us. So when we have some type of direction, colors work for us, and what color palette we want to go for in our capsule wardrobe, it really narrows down a lot of those options and just makes it a lot easier to shop. So I do it for me so I can have a little bit more educating them. So when they're not working with me, I want them to be able to know what to do on things. I still want to be able to make sure that I'm equipping them for what they want to do. Some clients do like shopping and they do love the opportunity to capacity. So it really depends on who I'm working with at the time, but all of those deliverables are helpful regardless of where you are in your journey.
Yeah. That is, and I love, the mood board. Let's get the colors. Let's get all of the, right? All the process helps, I believe, that client to be more confident, sufficient, and just beyond, hey, if I can't get Christen on the line, will I be able to step out in this outfit and have the confidence mood board for a second and all the things she told me, but I can now be confident in pieces. And a lot of times individuals don't know when they see a woman walk, and even the men, because you serve men as well, know all of the things in your mind. You may be put this peplin shirt on, or these big sleeves, or like, but all the things that goes on in your mind, just the things that we go through before we put on the outfit, it's a whole process. It's a whole
It is, it is. And just to add, for me, men are easy. They literally buy the same thing in every color. If you work with women, because it's a challenge, we all have different curves, different body shapes, all the things. So I gravitate towards women for that specific reason. I
That's what
did
I
used to
heard you
style
say.
it, so I
Yes.
gravitated more towards the women. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. You talk about this. Yes. Tell us a little bit more about that. You heard that, Lady T. And I was like,
Yes, the Body
oh,
Shape
tell me
Bible. I created
more.
it back in 2019. I did a speaking engagement at the end front of a group of professional women. And for some reason, I just felt led to talk about body shapes. I did not know why, but that was what it is. So I did some research. I had kind of already knew what the body shapes were. And I did some research and I'm like, okay, the rectangle, the circle, triangle. I'm like, all right, I'm in. And I just noticed that their faces were like scrunching up when I talked about some of these body shapes. They didn't feel comfortable. Nobody wanted to be called anything father after that experience. And I'm like, I had a great seem like they received the types of body shapes that I was educating them on. And to me, as long as you know your size, like you're good. They encouraged me to create my own body shapes. And I'm like, I didn't even know that I could do that. Like, okay. So that following year, 2019, I was able to give her my vision and she was able to craft and create the body shapes. I explained to her what exactly I wanted them to like look like and feel like. And then we could figure out what your body shape was. I walked her through the 3 steps of how to take your measurements. So that's in the ebook too. And then I curated a list of styles so that is when that was born. I'm hoping to make it like a physical copy soon, but as of now, use for whatever reason. I always encourage women and just my clients in general to take their measurements every quarter. Most of the women that I work with, including mine, are at all times. Something is changing about our bodies as the seasons change. So the ebook can be used as a resource or as a tool that you can always go back to every single your body shape is at all times, because that's important.
This is so good. Is it on Amazon or get this ebook?
It should be on
Okay.
Amazon.
She like, it better be on
But it's on my
Amazon, right?
website. Sophisticated Chic Brand
Okay.
is. I probably should share it more. I always forget that I even have it. But I need to start sharing it more, and I need to put it
So
on Amazon too.
yeah,
So
so
thanks for
Christen,
that
yes,
confirmation.
let's follow up. After this,
Yes.
let's get it on Amazon because I can already see this. I just love the level of creativity, and Lady T knows I'm like, hey, let's get it, let's take it to that level because I can see so many other women. I remember even when you're on social media or you're just on your phone, these if you look up one thing that has to do with weight loss or something, all these different things pop up, and I identify with that. I don't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know what I like. I know what I like to feel. And that's that. So I just love the fact that you've taken time and gotten creative and created this manual, this guide for women. And with that being said, there's a couple of other things that came to my mind. One, I know some women who have shared with me that, hey, when I go into the store, I just point, if I see what's on that mannequin, I just buy the whole outfit with mannequin. And so they buy the whole, I'm like, you buy the whole thing? Yes. And that's how I developed my wardrobe. So when I was thinking about that, when you were breaking down every step that you take them through, and I can see that that's one way that you help them to navigate through that and dismantle, that whole process, to say, hey, so why is that? Or, some other questions that may come. Another thing that came to my mind is, you were sharing earlier, is that you work with a lot of women who are between the ages 40 plus.
40 and 50, I would say.
40 and 50.
Yeah.
And so even on my journey, I find myself really supporting a more seasoned women. And I remember a time where I would, question, like, okay, am I able, to do this, or is I'm called to? And I want how you have become more confident, the women that I'm called to serve, and how does that your clients, or working with your clients, when there's their age gap, or maybe it's
Yeah. So I think that plays a
right.
part in it.
And that's the same
Um,
thing here. Yes.
but not even that. I just feel like I kind of know when they need help. And a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them know when to ask for help. They know means to invest in the proper help. The women that I'm drawn to, they know that something has shifted. They know that something has changed. They know that they take that next step. And I don't know if it has anything to do with age, but I want to say that it does. Because that's what I've experienced. And it is interesting who have gone through things that you haven't necessarily experienced just yet, like having kids from that. But I will say my body has changed from the pandemic.
Right.
So it's like we can relate on different levels. Um, and also too, I feel like just my perspective on style is slightly different from the average woman. I worked in corporate, but I'm also a business owner at the same time. So just like
Right.
my experiences per se, I feel like they can relate to that. I've had interviews, but I've also hired people to work with me. So it's like I have a little bit of everything, I want to say, that women can attest to. And that's what I really speak to. And also
Yeah.
having faith in myself, whether it be, going job is the right job for you, or even working your business and continuing to push through even though things don't look the way that you thought they would. Like, it's just so many different experiences that I feel like we all can relate to. Really big also too on getting women to understand that their age
Yeah.
doesn't make like a young person or dressing like an old person. Like, if you're 60 and 50 and you want to wear like something that's a little bit more form
Yeah.
fitting, go right ahead, as long as, to me, doesn't really matter. And I think women who are a little older than me. So yeah, hopefully that answers your
Yeah,
question.
no, that's wonderful. I was just always just a little curious on how you navigate, that space. But when you're called, you're
Mhm.
called. When it's your area, leave, I've heard you, say shift. We know when something has shifted. We know when we need something. And I heard you earlier say that, hey, I saw the problem, or I saw um how, and the solution. When you have the solution, age and all of those other things, right? It doesn't matter. It can sometimes be a factor, but it doesn't matter because you're called to it. And so definitely excited about that. Lady T, you have any words as we're wrapping up, ladies? This has been insightful. And I've seen we have some individuals who are engaged. When you see me looking over, I'm just looking over um at the ladies who are here. And I think we had a couple little tech things. Add, Lady T, any other
Um,
questions?
I think this has been amazing. I feel like it's given our viewers something else to think about and to open up their minds to a stylist being more than just a stylist, and really asking yourself, what do you need in your stylist? Maybe you need a little bit more than you're receiving. And maybe you need to look elsewhere, just because maybe what you're receiving. But when you started talking, you had to make in order for you to be as successful as you are now. And so, and all of the sacrifices that you made that led you to be successful. So everything, even though you had blessings. So one of the things I would definitely want to leave with our viewers is to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to sacrifice for it? Do you want it bad enough to be uncomfortable temporarily, so that in the long term, in the future, you can be successful, you can be stable, you can have all the things that you desire in your heart? Because Christen sharing her story literally just talked about the sacrifices that she made and the bumps in the road that she experienced that weren't really bumps, because the Lord already knew what was happening. But they were just, they were just experiences that she was supposed to have, that she was supposed to endure, that led her to bigger and better blessings, even though unbeknownst to her, she didn't know, what was behind. We just have to step outside of our flesh selves and lean more into our spiritual selves, so that we can trust what's happening on the other side, even though we can't see it.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good. One thing that one word, and if anyone knows me, uh they know the word is grace. Grace. I released my single in 2017. Grace, it was not 20, what's 2022. It's so many different dates. 2022. My single Grace Upon Grace. But one word, that word it continues to show up. And what I've been hearing is just that, we are grace for what we're called to do in the earth. And in that grace, when we are following our purpose and coming into alignment with us, sometimes, I know in my journey, I've sometimes got to a point where I might look over into the other lane and like compare myself to other people's journey, right? Okay. But what rested upon me last week is that we have grace. We are grace for the pace that God has given us on our individual journeys. We don't have to look to the left. We don't have to look in the right. Oh, why they doing that? They married now. Oh, they got their whole career. Because what we see is not always what it is. And so, as I've been listening to you, Christen, in your journey, that hey, you just found this beautiful place, and I know you're still evolving. I know you said right, or what you said, but you have the grace to be you authentically. And because you have stepped into this stepped on this journey and dared to do something, lean into an industry that some people just like, oh, this is a side hustle, you know what I'm saying, or this is a side thing or whatever. No, this is what I'm doing for real, and this is serious. And so you dare to do, and still daring to pull back the layers. Oh, that's that. Oh, let me find a solution. Let me be the solution and let me help. And so it's just so beautiful that you can authentically, be you. And so as we're closing out today, I want to just give space, laid upon your heart, or you want to leave with them in terms of faith and style, whatever you want to leave with them. And also definitely just share how I've been doing this by myself a long time. And I just connected. Some things you said resonate, because one thing that you said, amongst so many other things, is that some of your clients, they find that they're exchanging and coaches and strategists and savant, that word, right? Right. We're here to help you do something that you've been trying to do by yourself more efficient. Need help? Hey, we have somebody right here who can help you. So she's going to leave us her contact information as well as we close out today.
Yes. Well, I want to first off thank you for the conversation. I wanted to add that my middle name is Grace. So when you said that, I'm like, let her know. And it's funny because I used to hate my first name. I'm like, this is so like, I didn't know anybody else named Kristen. I didn't know any of that. But I know that it was ordained because it means follower of Christ. So like my whole entire name and my life has just been just blessed. And it took me all of those challenges and all of those evolutions that I've gone through throughout my journey to put me here and just shift my understanding of one, who God is, and two, like why I'm even here. Um, Most of my career, I think I slightly mentioned this before, but I was doing like very surface level work. My beliefs were, although I believed in God, my heart wasn't in it. I really just wanted to do it just because like it wasn't like a real like thing. And it really wasn't until I was out of a job for the third time, which was 2013 of last or 2023, I'm sorry, of last year. That was my third time being let go from a job. And I'm like, something has to give. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, what I'm not doing, but something has to change. And that year, I was literally out of a job from January to August. And I say that because it's like, oh, out of a job, like, aren't you an entrepreneur? Yes, I am, but I still my business. So I'm
Yeah.
styling for this company and I'm also styling for my business. And it was hard being on
Mm.
unemployment. It was hard not understanding why I've been doing this same thing for, at the time, 9 years, not giving what I thought it was going to give, or it being so up and down. But I spent a lot of time surrounding myself with a community of women who are Christian women. They do believe. And that has helped me to really grow my faith and just grow in general. Because I couldn't, the Bible was very hard for me
Oh
to
yeah.
understand for a very
And it's
long
still
time.
like
And sometimes it
bow
still
and
is.
what?
So it's a lot to
Yeah.
digest. It's a lot to understand.
Yeah.
So when I surrounded myself with a community of women who are Christians and who believe and are kind of in the same boat as me, some a little bit less, but just coming together and being able to relate to the same things has been helpful for me, and it has helped me to grow. So that just community has helped me to grow my faith. And just for a while, I'm like, is this something I should even still be doing at this time? Because it was just
Yeah.
not clicking. But it was just some changes I had to make in myself,
Yeah.
still making those
Mhm.
changes. And then, of course, some changes I had to make in my business and to ask for help and to not feel like I
Mhm.
had to do everything on my own. So that is kind of what I wanted to add and just end out the and follow me. My name is Christen Johnson on LinkedIn. On Instagram is SCB Luxury Styling. And my website is www.sophisticatedchicbrand.com. Sophisticated Chic Brand is where my business started, but I shortened it to SCB Luxury Styling a couple of years ago because people always mispronounced it, and it was just a lot. So I made it shorter and easier for y'all to understand. Um, but that's it. That's all.
I love it. I mean, you probably be like, this girl was saying, I'm excited. I love it. Well, she got all these different emojis, what you said. But this is like really good stuff. And I feel like the world, like God is, yeah, it's so much that's packed and power packed in this. And God is just gonna blow your mind because you're in position. And I just want to just encourage you to continue, like you just said, just continue doing what you were doing, stay focused in it, because that consistency, we never know who's watching us. And it was so amazing when Tiara, I'm going to say this before we get off of here today. When Tiara mentioned uh Kristen Johnson, I said, when I looked at your picture, I said, wait a minute.